remains of 3 family members were uncovered today, hidden inside their home for days.
When I bought the house, I hired a cleaning crew to go in, and then we uncovered what we believe to be bloodstains.
We just figured we'd never know.
Seriously, do you guys feel that? There's a lot of anger in this house.
Nobody else knows but the people that were here. Nobody else knows what happened.
He doesn't hear that.
Whoa. They found you in this room, right?
Right beside you?
Wow. I saw another person out the window.
Donald, are you in here?
We know of 4 separate deaths that happened here.
I thought I just heard a man's voice very clearly come through and say evil.
Oh my god, that was weird.
Do you think you caught it on camera? I swear I just heard a man's voice come through there and say Donald. Oh, Jesus Christ.
A horrible scene today in Belle Plaine, Iowa. An entire family was found dead inside their home. The decomposing bodies of the Fox family were discovered inside their home on Wednesday. Authorities have yet to discover what led to this awful crime. The worst part is we may never know.
Okay, we're less than a mile away from the actual house. This will be the first time we've seen it.
Almost a full day here in Belle Plaine that we've been here since we arrived, and we have not even driven by to look at the house.
No, we've spent the entire day today doing research and background history, whatever we can find, and this will be it.
This will be it. We know that here in just a little bit, the owner of the house, Nick, is going to meet us over there and give us a little bit more of his perspective, not only what he knows about that horrific night in 1987, but also some more background information on a crime that's happened more recently inside the house that resulted in someone else that passed away there.
Yes.
And he's also going to tell us about some of his paranormal experience that he's had since buying the house, because from what we understand, he didn't even believe in the paranormal until he bought this house and started to have experiences.
Yes. Yeah, it definitely seems to have made a believer out of Nick in the paranormal.
And this documentary that we're making, I think, is much more. It goes deeper than just a paranormal investigation.
Oh, yeah.
No one's ever told this family's story fully. No one's ever been able to find out enough information to find out exactly what and why things happened. And maybe we will on this investigation, or maybe we won't. We know that the information has been so hard to find. And if we can't find it at the courthouse or in the police records, maybe our last effort will be to go into the house tonight and try and see if we can find answers from the people that took the secrets to their graves.
Ooh, I just got a glimpse of it. Ooh, man. There it is.
There it is. There it is. 605 11th Street. The house that literally rocked this community back in 1987, that scared this community.
I got a weird vibe pulling up to this place.
Me too. Nick will be here in just a few minutes, so let's go ahead and find out more information from him, because we have a lot of information that he doesn't have, but he has a lot of information that we don't have.
True. Yep. Let's jump out and see what he has to say.
Let's go.
In 1987, Donald Fox Jr. took a shotgun and shot his father in the bedroom, and then went and shot his mom in the dining room, and then shot himself.
When did you discover that this actually happened inside the house?
I've always heard stories about the incident, But when I bought the house, my intent was to turn it into an Airbnb, and it was full of garbage, and I hired a cleaning crew to go in and clean it out. After they cleaned it out, we started ripping up the floor, and then we uncovered what we believe to be bloodstains in the dining room.
Do you have any idea why they left that behind, why that would be in there? Do you know the process of what happens to lead to the crime scene like that being just left open?
I have no idea. I know that there was no regulations back in the 80s about any type of stain cleanup, any decomp or anything like that. I don't know if it was even regulated, especially in a small town like Belle Plaine. So I think that's when they just decided to just cover it up and call it good.
One of the things that we want to know is, what questions do you have? What questions do you want to have answered?
I just really want to know kind of what the storyline was, why Junior did it, and along with why the family was separated, especially his older siblings, and where that detachment was and why. That's kind of what I would like to find out, and along with any type of pictures, photos of the family, because I don't know what they look like.
Nick doesn't know it, but in our preliminary research before we even traveled to Iowa, we believe we uncovered a long-forgotten photo of Donald Fox Jr. A photo we'll reveal to him on day 2 of our investigation. So it's highly probable that we will be the first paranormal investigators to step foot in this house that have ever laid eyes on a photo of the man who violently took his parents' lives here.
Talk about the first time you walked into the house, because I know you said there was an interesting story about some experience that you had in the house.
Yeah, when I first got in the house, it was overwhelming with the amount of trash and debris on the floor. There's vodka bottles, Pepsi bottles, food, clothes, you name it, cigarettes everywhere, ashtrays. And I just started working my way inside the house, picking up garbage. And it was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And I was just by myself, and I heard something that sounded like shh over my right shoulder. I looked over and I seen something darker than a shadow go into the back bedroom. And at that time, I didn't know the details over the Fox murders.
Oh, wow.
So that's when I went and found the police report and read it and found out that Junior shot himself in that bedroom.
Have you ever had any other paranormal experiences inside the house?
I brought a friend down, and there's 2 of them that came down along with a girl, and they wanted to experience the house. And the friend of mine ended up buying a spirit box and some cat balls and a REM pod, and he wanted to test it out. So we went into the house, and I stood in the living room. They read the police report in the living room, and the girl took the spirit box, went back in Junior's room, and started asking questions. Well, when she was asking questions, she asked if Junior was here with us, if he could make a noise, and it sounded like somebody shoulder checked the wall in the first bedroom.
Wow.
And then the girl asked Junior if he wanted us to leave, and it said yes, and the front door flew open really hard. And that's when I just took off out the front, and everybody else followed me. And then we went up to the brewery here in town, and my buddy still had the spirit box in his sweatshirt. And as we were talking about the incident, the spirit box turned on and started talking. And that's when my buddy took the spirit box out of his pocket, slid it across the bar to me. I told him to just get rid of it. I don't want it. And he ended up, we ended up disposing it on the outside in a dumpster.
So did you believe in the paranormal before you bought this house?
I sort of believed it. I just don't know about it a whole lot. I know that there's people that study the paranormal, but I like to take things of more scientific approach. So that's why, to me, it's just something that I just didn't know a whole lot about.
So if we said, will you go in the house right now, would you go in?
I'd be very hesitant in going in, yeah. Unless someone's screaming help, then yeah, I would. But it just, I don't understand the paranormal, so I'm always afraid that, everybody keeps telling me, well, something could attach to you and you could take it home. And my wife would be extremely mad at me if I ended up taking something home with me and cabinets started opening and closing by themselves. Yeah, I don't think she'd ever forgive me for that. So
While we wait for the sun to go down to enter the house and read the police report, we hear that a neighbor who lives close by, lived here in 1987, had multiple interactions with the Fox family, and remembers very well that hot July in 1987 when the bodies of the family were discovered. They're nervous to speak about it on camera, but agree to an interview as long as we conceal their identity.
Okay, so I guess the first thing really that we want to know was, what kind of things did you witness the family doing when they were living in the house?
Basically, the parents didn't come outside. The dad, we was told, drank a lot. And the son liked to fish. He did have a boat. He had some friends one friend that he went with a lot. But they said shortly before this happened, he cut off contacts with that other person. The son, he had fell off of the Westdale Mall when they was building the mall, and he hit his head and he had brain damage. But he was very, very quiet. The only time I would see him is when I was out mowing. He would come out and usually mow at the same time that I was mowing and stuff. Right shortly before this happened, because I'd went to the grocery store and I'd seen him, and I noticed that his hair was all cut short, because he usually had it long. So that kind of surprised me. I said, "Oh, you got a haircut?" And he said, "Yeah." I did talk to the mother one time. They asked me, she said, "Donnie wants to give you some tomatoes." And so I said, "Yeah, I'll come over." And I come over and got some tomatoes. I talked to the mother. The mother was very pleasant. She just, like I said, in all the years that I lived here, I never seen either of the parents outside. Donnie did gardening and did the lawn mowing and took care of the yard and took care of his parents. That was all I ever seen.
Were you at home the day that they were found?
Yes, I was at home. And when they came over, they asked me if I'd seen anything. Well, it was around the 4th of July, and I slept in the daytime. And what I heard was in the daytime hours, because I was sleeping, and I heard several big, loud noise. I figured it was firecrackers. And in fact, I sent my daughter out. I said, "Go see who's setting off firecrackers." And she came out and she said, "There isn't anybody out there that's doing anything." This neighbor lady over here speculated that the parents maybe were not in that good a shape, and Donnie just was tired of taking care of them.
Yeah. Yeah, so you never saw any moments between them where they had any sort of conflict?
No.
No.
I never seen anything like that. And I never heard anything.
In the aftermath, was there any sort of questions in your mind as to what happened or anything that you felt went unanswered?
We just figured we'd never know, because the family came, I think it was like some stepbrothers or half brothers, and that was here, and they took stuff out of the house. They asked me if I wanted to come in. I said no, I did not want to go in, and never have. I've never went into the house. The next people that bought it, we knew that they were just kind of covering up everything, because they took the kind of wood in that's supposed to be on the roof and had it said, "Do not use for inside purposes." They put that in the house up over stuff.
So we know for a fact the man that is the police chief here in Belle Plaine, Iowa, grew up living fairly close to the house where the Fox family lived and where that horrible crime, that horrible tragedy took place.
Yeah, Nick told us that he, in fact, grew up just either a block or a couple of blocks away from where it happened, and that he may be willing to talk to us about some information he has.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool because it's not so much from a perspective of law enforcement. I mean, he does have a very extensive law enforcement background, being he's the chief of police, but interviewing him from the standpoint of a citizen of Belle Plaine who remembers the Fox family and their behavior and their demeanor and what it was like when they were living in that house may give us a better insight into exactly what happened.
Yeah, I would imagine that all of these years later, that's not something you forget. So it'd be cool to see what insight he has.
Yeah, we tried to get a hold of him on the phone, but we couldn't. But now that we're here in Belle Plaine, I think I'm just going to walk in to the police station and ask for Chief Hudson and see if he's here.
Okay.
So
we'll see how it goes.
Let's see.
Well, hopefully this goes better than planned. We're going to see if Ryan is able to make it into the city hall, into the police department here. It is a public building, so we're allowed to go in, but we'll see if anybody in there is willing to talk to us, and maybe Kevin will be willing to give us a call later or come and sit down and have a talk with us to see if he remembers anything. I hope so. I really hope so. Well, he made it in the building, so that's a good sign.
Hello?
Put the windows up there so you can hear me, but hopefully this is a good sign. He made it into the building. And we'll see.
Hello.
What can I do for you?
I'm looking for Chief Hudson.
Well, you found him.
Oh, hello, sir. We've been trying to get a hold of you. We're from West Virginia. My buddy Dave was trying to contact you just to talk about the foxes because we're in town shooting a documentary about that house with Nick. Yeah, he said that it was kind of funny because that you guys were playing phone tag.
I can talk to you a little bit about it. I didn't work here when all that happened.
Right. Nick had told us that you know, of course, you were probably a teenager at the time that it happened, right? You were young, and that you'd lived on the street or near the house that it happened.
Just that same area, yeah.
Connor is now going into the building.
I guess really what we're interested in is talking about, like, did you ever see the family and what their demeanor was or anything like that?
No. To my knowledge, there wasn't any family other than them.
Right.
I don't know, but I mean, I don't know of any other family that those people might have had.
Did you ever see actually like any of those three? Because I'd heard something about them being very reclusive.
Yeah, I don't remember them as people. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know who they are, who they were rather. So I didn't know them.
Small town Iowa like this, you guys, things can escalate very quickly. Not saying anything bad is happening here, but word spreads very quickly, and people become very suspicious very quickly about what you're doing. So hopefully this interaction in here goes well.
Of course, because the only people that knew what happened were those three, so nobody could ever figure out or get to the bottom of any motive or anything like that.
Right. Yeah. I don't think anybody ever figured that part of it out. But yeah, it is kind of strange, huh?
I've been trying to get a hold of him on the phone for a couple of days. It has not worked out in our favor, but you know, I'm sure he's a very, very, very busy person. Don't want to say that he's avoiding us or ducking us or anything like that, but I just hope that they'll talk to Ryan in there.
Would there have been a record of like 911 calls from that particular case?
Probably not. That was we didn't have 911 back then. I know we didn't get 911 services in Belle Plaine until like '89, so we had an answering service.
Gotcha.
So there wouldn't be anything like that.
Yeah.
You guys doing an audit?
Doing what?
An audit?
No, we're not. We're not to a pre or anything like that.
You're not doing rights audit?
No,
What are you guys doing?
We're in town filming a documentary for a case that happened here.
What one?
The Fox family.
Oh. Yeah, there was somebody else that did a documentary not too long ago, and they weren't even smart enough to go to Belle Plaine Union. It's a newspaper in this town, no longer exists. Everything's archived. You get it for free, all right?
Belle Plaine Union.
That's what it was called back then.
Okay. Did you know any of them?
No. In the article, it tells you everything too.
Okay.
The people that already did the documentary, they overlooked that whole ass. No one told them to look that up.
Belle Plaine Union.
Yep, that's the newspaper that was in this town back then.
Okay.
It was front. Actually, I have it on my phone.
Okay.
Take my number.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, from what Nick had said, from what he had found as far as information, that she had children from a previous marriage that didn't want anything to do with the house or the family, and they just...
Yeah, because there's a Nelson and a Williams mentioned in this. I don't know if you ever looked at that before, but that's like, so there's the house.
Yeah.
And then the current owner. And then this is like the history of sales. So you can see like before the murder, or after the murders rather.
Right.
So see what I mean by word spreads really quickly in this town? He circled around the block twice and approached me and asked if we were doing an audit of the police department, because that's a very popular thing on YouTube, is for channels to do audits. And but it turns out he knew a little bit of information about where we can get some more information, so that was beneficial to us. Hopefully we're able to make something come of what he gave to me there.
Well, let me know if you come up with anything.
I definitely will. Most definitely. I appreciate your time, and I'm sure you got a lot to...
Yeah, I remember as a kid, it scared the hell out of the entire town because we hadn't seen anything like that. If there was, obviously I wasn't alive back then to remember it. But,
Yeah, it's definitely strange. Well, thank you, Chief. I appreciate it. I'll let you get back to work here. I know you got...
Yeah, I got to run down the street here on something.
Got stuff to do there because I heard your call come through. It was nice to meet you, and I appreciate all the information.
Take it easy.
Yeah, you too. Yes, thank you. See you. So, he said that he didn't want to do an official formal interview on camera talking about it. He said that he didn't really see or know the family that well. He said he knew that it scared the hell out of the town when it happened because it was just so bizarre to have something like that happen that they couldn't explain. He did, in fact, give me a number for DCI.
Ooh, okay.
So we can call the state crime investigation unit and see if they have any information, any photographs, any video, anything that they would be able to share with us about the crime itself from back in '87. He said there is no 911 call because the 911 service didn't come to Belle Plaine until '89. Wow. He said there's a lot of people out there who probably know more, but it's going to be difficult to find the information.
All right, Ryan, we finally are going to get ready and walk into this house for the very first time. We're going to go in, and we were told that there is a police report in here on the counter, and we're going to go in and read over it.
Yeah, this is going to be our first time actually walking into this house, so I don't know what we're going to find. Nick has told us that strange things happen when the police report is read aloud, so we're in for an interesting experience, maybe, from Jump Street.
Perhaps.
Let's go. Here we go.
You can see nobody's been in there because it's covered in webs. Oh, wow. Wow.
Just got spider web right to the face. I don't think anyone's been in here in quite a long time.
A long time. Okay. Well, Here's the police report. Should I go over here and read it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Wow. Literally, look at all... I don't know if you can tell, but look at all these cobwebs through here. I don't know if they'll show up on camera, but there's dozens of them.
Yeah, I see them with my eyes. I don't know if they can see it on camera, if it's translating on there, but I mean, people haven't been in here in quite a long time.
All right, the police report. Let's go. Date of the police report is 7/15/87, 1 o'clock p.m., 605 11th Street, Belle Plaine, Iowa. I, blank, received a phone call at the Belle Plaine Police Department at 1 p.m., July 15th, 1987, from a mail carrier for the city of Belle Plaine to go to 605 11th Street. Blank stated to me on the phone that he thought that something was wrong at the residence because no mail had been picked up for several days and he could smell something coming from the house. I arrived at about 1:05 p.m. and talked to Blank a short time on the front sidewalk. An older lady who is a neighbor saw Blank and myself talking, and she told me that she had not seen any activity around the house for several days. I walked up to the house and looked in a bedroom window facing the front of the house. I could see the outline of a person lying in bed under the covers. I shouted very loudly to the person, but got no response. I detected a strong smell of something dead coming from the window, and there were a lot of flies on the window. At that time, Blank left to continue his mail route. I went to the front door and knocked very loudly. Blank stated to me that 3 people lived there: Don, his wife, and his son who was in his mid-30s. I got no response from knocking. I then tried the screen door, which was locked. I forced the screen door open and then tried the inside door, which was also locked. I kicked in the inside door and the smell of something dead was so strong it burned my eyes. I walked into the house and was standing in the living room looking south. I could see a fan running, blowing west into the bedroom, the same bedroom that I had looked into from the outside of the house. I then walked into the bedroom and observed a person in bed covered up to their neck. His entire was gone from a blast of a. I turned around, walked back to the living room, and walked south into the next room. I first observed a light on the east wall of the second room. Also, the television set was on. I then saw an older lady lying on the floor, face up, with her head pointing west. She was in the center of the room. The smell was so strong and burning my eyes that I could go no further and see. I went back out the front door and went west to the first house. Blank, the neighbor I was talking to, asked me what was wrong. I replied that I had found 2 people dead inside and that they looked like they were older people. She stated, "I wonder where Blank is." I replied, "I don't know." I caught my breath and went back inside to where the lady was lying, and I looked into a bedroom to the west. I observed a gun lying on the bed. It appeared to be a shotgun. Once again, the smell was so strong that I could not go any further. I walked back out the front door and asked Blank if I could use her phone. I called the Belle Plaine answering service, got a hold of Blank, and told her to call the Benton County Sheriff's Department and have Blank come down. About 30 minutes later, Blank arrived and I told him that I had 2 people and that they had a son that I could not account for. Blank and I went into the house. The smell was not as bad now that the front door was open. Blank and I again checked on the man that was in the bed in the west bedroom, then the room with the lady lying on the floor. We went into the west bedroom where the gun was lying on the bed, and I observed a man lying at the south end of the room on the floor with his head almost all gone from a. We then went back outside in the fresh air and I talked for a few minutes about getting the entire area secured, and I went into Blank to call for more city officers to help secure the area. The entire area was secured and nothing was moved. The Belle Plaine police were given the task of security of the entire area. Officers were placed on all four corners, and 11th Street was blocked off. About 1:45 p.m., the Benton County Sheriff's Department and Chief Deputy arrived. Agents from the Division of Criminal Investigation arrived from Cedar Rapids. A detailed investigation was conducted, which lasted until about 8:30 p.m. I was instructed by the DCI to keep the house secure until I received a call from Des Moines to release the house to relatives. A Belle Plaine officer stayed at the house until 1 o'clock a.m., 7/16/87, Belle Plaine Police Department.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so just from what you read there, let's kind of go over, because of course, we want to make sure we get all of the facts correct. That means the first bedroom, right back here, this is Senior, Donald Fox Sr. was found in that bedroom.
Correct.
Francis was found literally right here, about 4 feet to my right. So right here in this spot, which is the spot that Nick is curious about. All of this linoleum tile was put in afterwards, and the linoleum flooring that you see here was put in afterwards to cover it up. And this is believed to possibly be a decomposition stain. And that means this bedroom, right back here, would be the one where Junior was found, correct?
Yes. Yep. He would have been in here. And, yeah. A lot of very violent things happened in this house.
Yes. And let's not also forget, we want to be respectful. We can't go into detail talking about what happened with the other notable death in this house. A woman named Vicky, who was found in the living room out here by the couch.
Right.
And that was just in 2016. So we can't really, I mean, it's an ongoing investigation. It's an ongoing case.
Right. If something should happen to come through while we do our investigation here, then so be it. But, as far as directly bringing up such a raw case that is still open, like you said, we're not going to be doing that.
Right.
Okay, so go in the courthouse here, see what, if any, type of files we can get on this house. And just saw a guy walk up. He tried to go in the front door, and he couldn't. So we're going to find another way in.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Benton County Courthouse, which is the county in which Belle Plaine's in, so they're going to have any information on any criminal activity or really any records on the house that occurred within the county. So this house in Belle Plaine is gonna, if they have anything on it, it's gonna be here.
Yes. Hopefully.
Oh.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
You have keys, cell phone, anything metal on you, please?
Yes.
Actually,
all kinds of stuff.
Sorry.
That's what do you want this?
This is just a microphone.
No, that's fine.
That's fine. Okay.
You want me to
take that off?
Okay.
You're fine. Oh, it's probably the mic. Go ahead. Does it do the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You getting a close up on me, I hope, right now? Go on. There you go.
Straight ahead, he said?
Yes.
Oh, hi.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Can we help you?
Yeah, we were.
Yes.
Yeah. We were just wanting to see if we could access files on a home.
Sure. What are you looking for? Maybe I can direct you better.
Death records or
Okay.
any other particular...
Really just so we're looking into 605 11th Street in Belle Plaine. And that is, there was a double homicide that occurred inside the house that we're researching and doing an investigation on. So
you have names to
yes,
search.
yes, Donald and Francis Fox, and then Donald Fox Jr.
Well, I can take you to the back to the public computer,
Okay.
and I can just we can put those names in and see what comes up.
Okay.
Well, let's go back here.
Okay.
And with this, I'll show you the death record files.
Okay.
Who's Francis? Any relation to?
That was the wife.
The wife.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so there's Francis and there's Donald on the same page.
Okay.
And I can make copies for you.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be great.
And what was the year that same time?
Yes. So,
Jeez.
according to police, what they determined was that the son murdered the parents and then shot himself.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But nobody knows why he did it.
Nobody knows why.
Mm-mm.
And, And was he like single? Or
Yes.
did he have anybody?
He was 34 and he was disabled. He had had an injury at work that apparently caused a lot of head trauma. But as far as
34.
reasoning why he did it, nobody really knows.
Yep. And they all say shotgun wound to the... Oh. Dad was head, Mom was back of neck. And then his was forehead.
Wow.
Yikes. All right. Yeah, I can make copies of all those for you.
Thank you so much.
Having the information is going to basically allow us to get a better idea, according to the death records, where the wounds actually were.
Yes, and how that would have described a sequence of events.
Right. And comparing that with the police report is also going to be very helpful to us, which we're going to read the police report when we go into the house here this evening.
Yes. This is really cool. This is awesome.
This is the original records here, too. This is the book of the death records for Benton County, Iowa. So this is the actual source.
Yep. You can't get any more official than this.
So yeah, we have Francis Fox, July 11th, 1987 was the date that they figured out that this all occurred. How injury occurred, shot while in the living room. And then same with this is Donald Fox Jr. Yeah, they determined his as a suicide. It says right there on that.
Found dead in bedroom by shotgun. So that right there confirms it, that it was murder-suicide. Now, in regards to public information, is there the possibility of like blueprints of a house or land deeds or...
I have the deeds. I don't have blueprints.
Okay.
But I would have the deeds, but the deeds would just be the legal description of the property.
Okay.
So it doesn't really talk about the house.
Okay.
It just would say, lot 4, Belle Plaine. But I can look that up if you want.
Okay. Is that something we could get printed out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that would be awesome. Anything we could get on these people or the house and the property, we would be open to doing.
Okay. Sure. Okay. Here we go. Okay, perfect. Right here. So it was a change of title done in 1988. Okay, I'm going to jot this down.
Okay.
It was Nelson, or it was Fox to Nelson. John Nelson to Williams. Okay, 9/21/88, and that was the deed. And that's the same East half of lot 4. Okay.
Does it say on there when Fox got it?
Yep, 88. Oh,
It might have been earlier because they were there
No.
12 years, so that would have
that
to
was
be.
early. So we have to go back. So that's where we have to. Okay. Oh, right here. So evidently, Mr. Fox. But this was a different Fox name, wasn't it? Because this says Catherine. Like she was the surviving spouse, but that's different.
Who would Catherine Fox be? I don't know. Sister of Don, maybe?
Maybe he didn't, but that doesn't make any sense.
So Landoit sold the house to Catherine Fox, because it's the same description, East Half Lot 4, in 1974.
Which tracks because in 87 they said it was about 12 years ago that they moved to Belle Plaine.
Yes.
So.
I wonder if maybe it was his mother.
Yeah. Does it say anything in regards to the property after Catherine, or is she the last one before Nelson?
So it just says Calvin Landout and Cindy Landout to Catherine L. Fox. That is so weird. Yet that one says Donald. So the only thing we could see if we could find a death record for Catherine.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know?
I just wonder if that's his mom or sister or...
Yeah, someone related to him, because the question that we're running into now is that when did the house become the estate of Donald Fox? When did it go from Catherine Fox to Donald Fox, and who is Catherine?
Yes.
That's the mystery we're on now. So who is John Nelson?
I don't know.
Who's John and who's Catherine?
Yeah, who's John and who's
the other
Catherine?
thing too. Very weird. The only thing, let's see. The other thing that you might consider is the estate was done through the clerk of court here. And our clerk of court's upstairs on second floor.
Okay.
They may have information on his estate.
So we were just downstairs. We're looking into basically just information on a property and the family that owned that property at that time. We got this information here from when the house was transferred from the estate of Donald Fox to someone named John Nelson. And it says the clerk of court did that. And we're just trying to figure out more information on who John Nelson was, or maybe just anything to do with the estate.
Lexa downstairs told us to come up and give it a try, so...
So I think what we need to do we're going to be doing two nights of investigating in here. Tonight, the things that I think we need to focus on are trying to verify whether or not those spots that Nick finds suspicious on the floor are just water spots or whether it actually is decomposition. We brought tools that will help us do that.
Yes.
We also want to start trying to find out exactly what type of unexplainable activity there is here, and if they actually do, if Donald and Francis and Donnie are still here, whether they'll come out and talk to us.
Yeah.
And maybe they can answer some of the questions that people have about why. They know the what, where, when. Nobody knows the why.
No. The why was left here with the murders.
Yes. Let's go ahead and get this night of paranormal investigating started. Come back in here. Investigate this house the way we think it should be.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Cool.
All right.
God, there's just something about walking in here.
It is very eerie.
It's just so heavy. There's just such a heavy feeling, and I'm not just saying that because we know what happened in here.
Right.
Obviously, we know what happened in here. We've been researching it for a month, but it's just, I don't know if you guys watching have ever went in somewhere and the energy and the feeling is just palpable. That's exactly what it feels like in here. It's just so heavy.
I just looked back into this room where Senior was, and it just like, my stomach, like,
yeah,
it just, it's so unsettling and uneasy in here. Really unlike any other place I think we've ever been. And that's why, to start off the investigation, before we delve into anything else, like we always do, I think we should do abandonment.
Yes.
Leave cameras set up in this house and let them roll with nobody in here to see what they pick up on, to see what they capture. And while the cameras are rolling here, we can go back to our accommodations, go grab some coffee, get ready to come back here, because we're going to jump in and try and validate some of these things that Nick believes about this house. But while we have the time, let's set up cameras in here. In every room where they were found, let's put a camera out here where Francis was found, a camera here where Donald Sr. was found, and a camera back in Donnie's room, Donald Jr. Just let them roll for an hour.
Yeah.
You all right?
Yeah. Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't feel it as much earlier because we came in here and I went directly to reading the police report. But I don't know. I feel almost like very irritated.
Like irritated from...
I don't know. Just... I don't know. But anyway, let's get this stuff set up.
Okay.
We've only been inside the house for about 15 minutes, and already Dave is feeling strange.
Seriously, do you guys feel that? Like, I don't know what it is, but it's just like a...
My heart's faster in here.
Yeah. It's just like, if I paid attention to the feeling that I'm feeling long enough, I just feel like I would get just pissed. I don't know what it is.
And it doesn't take long for our cameraman Connor to start feeling some sort of physical effects as well.
I was going to put this one over here.
That's fine. I'm just going to set these up on the tripod.
You're right.
I got really bad heart palp. I'm sorry.
It's okay. There's something in this house, man. I don't know. There's something in here.
Do you need to sit down?
I'm not sitting down on any of this. I want to, but I don't want to sit on any of this stuff. I'm going to feel so freaked out.
This is wood.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm freaked out. I don't like the room behind me at all.
No, dude, that's...
I don't like my back's facing. I feel so uneasy sitting in my back.
That's where I looked over and I got pissed. Was
Really?
that room. But this room is just, I don't know, sad. Yeah, guys, this has definitely all been OSB'd over.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at this right here, this is not drywall. This is plywood.
Yeah.
So this literally, when the new owner bought it in 1988, they just brought plywood in here and covered over everything that was left behind.
But see, there's a lot of anger in this house because look how many punch holes. There's a punch hole here, there's a punch hole here, there's a punch hole in this door. On the back side of the door.
And like you said, you stepped in here literally within 5 minutes of stepping in here, you start getting pissed.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
He doesn't hear that.
Yeah, but I just am afraid of people outside messing with us. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but
No, seriously, that was freaky. Hold on. Oh my god, that was weird.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
He doesn't hear that.
They're full of shit, though, because in this room over here, the added-in OSB has been removed in the ceiling where they said that the blood was. Over here, look. Because that is not that's not even pre anything.
Right.
So I think the evidence that would be up here would be under that.
Right.
I wonder. Can you grab that dead light? Oh, God.
You think it's nailed in?
It's definitely been replaced.
Yeah, because that looks like something that was done recently.
Yeah.
Very recently.
Let me see.
Oh. See anything in there?
It just goes to the attic.
Oh wow!
So this has been replaced. So there's not going to be anything that luminesces on that.
Right.
Yeah. So, but as far as if you ripped this carpet back, I don't know.
Right. All right. So that's it. We got everything set up here. It's time to leave this house empty. See what these cameras pick up when no one's in here. This camera's covering Francis and Vicky, the areas where they were found. Francis, of course, in 1987. Vicky, of course, in 2016. We've got a camera in Donald Jr.'s bedroom. And then we got another camera in Donald Sr.'s room, where Donald Sr. was found. So, hopefully something's captured. Whatever animosity, whatever anger that was trapped in this house, whatever caused them to be so angry towards one another. Hopefully they come out and tell us. It's surreal to walk into a place like this where something like that happened, knowing that something happened that led to such a violent thing, but nobody else knows but the people that were here. Nobody else knows what happened in this house except for the people that were here. And like I said earlier, they took it to their grave. And whatever caused Donnie to do that must have just felt so insurmountable.
Yeah.
So crippling. It's just a horrific thing, so.
It is, yeah. It really is.
We want to try and get the story right. And that's the biggest thing. We want to try and get it right, and we want to make sure that we pay our respects to the people whose lives came to an end in this house.
For sure.
Let's go ahead and take off. Let's go ahead and leave these cameras roll.
Okay.
We're back.
Oh, God. Smell in this house.
Okay, I'm going to set this down right here for right now. Go ahead and stop on that. It's like, I don't know if it's the acoustics in here or what it is, but it's just like womp, womp, womp. Yeah. Are you in here? Donald? I'm just checking up on you. Interesting. Okay, so let's go ahead. I think tonight the thing we need to get out of the way is we need to find out and test for ourselves if that is what Nick thinks it is. Other investigators in the past have come in and said that that's a water spot. That's not a decomp spot. And we know that Colin of the Paranormal Files came in and did luminol. In here, we brought something that is more modern than luminol.
Yes.
To try and test and see if it's a little bit easier to identify false positives, because luminol will light up with cleaning detergents, certain mosses. Of course, one of the most common cleaning agents is bleach.
Right.
And luminol will light up with bleach. Yes. So it's tough to be able to tell the difference between what is bleach and what is blood when you're using plain luminol. But with this stuff, there is a distinct difference in the way that it glows when it reacts with the iron within blood compared to your cleaning detergents and things. So.
Right. Yes. Yeah, so on this one, when it's sprayed and it is blood, it'll have the bluish hue to it. If you spray it and it's not blood, it'll be more of a white hue, so it's easier to tell the difference.
Right. So this is something that they've been using in the UK for a long time that we found and we ordered. Yes. It's really discovered in the early 2000s, so it's a lot more modern than what regular luminol is, so.
Yes. And this is the preferred reagent used, like you said, in the United Kingdom, so.
We'll see what happens. Once we do this, we're going to come back tomorrow and investigate more thoroughly. Tonight is going to be getting a feel for the house and using this, and then we're going to let this sit and dry before we come back in tomorrow and investigate.
Yeah, it's not the best, we learned, to spray and inhale or be around or kick up or anything like that. So like Ryan said, we'll spray it on, do our testing tonight, and let it settle and dissipate overnight. And when it's a little bit more safer for us to come back, we'll do it tomorrow.
That's right.
Gonna roll in this recorder here, just in case we get some EVPs while we're doing this.
Yeah.
And I think something's telling me to put this in this room in here.
Okay.
Don Sr., I'm going to put this in your room here. So I'd love for you to talk into that or touch that red light over there on the chair. If you can.
Ryan, go back to where you... Don't move.
Is there somebody peering in?
I literally thought I saw somebody peer in the window. I got my... I about to my brake. Look at the back window. I saw another person in that window.
Is there anyone out there?
I don't see anyone.
I literally saw someone in that window, dude. It took me a second. I about lost my shit. Like my pants. Like I saw someone.
Hold on. Come with me, Connor.
I'll watch the door.
Is it like this?
Yeah. It was more of an arm. Like somebody was in the room with us, though. I saw your arm and I saw another person in there.
Do you think you caught it on camera?
No.
No.
Because I was facing Dave and I was filming him.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
That's okay. No, I just was wondering if you saw it through the camera or with your eyes.
I saw it with my eyes. I got really freaked for a second. I was like trying to double check, make sure that was you. And then I saw it happen again. And then I wasn't moving and you were the only one that moved. And that's why I told you to go back there so I could see if it was you.
But could you tell it wasn't me?
It was definitely not you.
That is weird. Nobody's back there.
Yeah, I just got really freaked out.
I'm sure.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't talk. I don't want to say anything because I'm just filming you guys, but that really freaked me out for a second.
No, like I said, if you see something or you experience something, we definitely want to know about it. So.
Well, listen. When we were filming earlier, I thought I saw somebody standing outside of this window. It was just a black outline, but I didn't say anything because I thought that maybe it was just somebody walking by or something like that. And I didn't say anything, but I'm bringing it up now because you saw that over there. What if that is a phenomena that happens here?
I mean, it's possible. I mean, it is highly probable as well that there could be locals that see us in here and they just come and peek in the window like, what are they doing,
Sure.
But that's twice now, and that time I went pretty quickly, and there's nobody in the general vicinity back there.
Mm-mm.
I would have seen someone on the drive, on the alleyway here. I would have seen someone walking, in between the houses or something, and there was nobody back there. So,
and that's why earlier when we left, I walked over there and looked down that way. I don't know if you remember me doing that.
I do, because that was when the camera shut off.
Yes. But I didn't say anything because I didn't want to bring it up. But that's why I walked over there. Anyway, I don't know. If you see it again, speak out. Okay. So are we leaving this on?
Turning it off.
Turning this off? Where should we start?
I think we should start with the main culprit.
The corner?
The corner spot.
Okay. I don't know why I'm so apprehensive.
Now that the lights are off, it'll be a lot easier to see if someone's looking in a window.
Yeah. You can actually kind of see it illuminating in this bottle.
Yeah, I can see it.
On the camera?
Not on the camera, no.
Oh, okay.
With my eyes, I can.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. Let me get a light here because I want to pull up something.
Okay.
That's the tile in question right there.
Okay. We ready?
Ready. Standing back. Can you see where you're spraying it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wow.
Can you see that?
Yes, it looks... This appears to be more white.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just dust and dirt and stuff.
Yeah, it's not glowing really at all.
Mm-mm. No, there's no glow to that.
Basically, compatible with what we read about in, when in researching this product of what would happen if you were getting a false positive with luminol.
Yes. And this is just surface level. This is like with 35 years of life happening on top of this.
Right. Now, the other spot where they said is behind the kitchen counter here.
Okay. In this area, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it goes right here. Now that's illuminating.
Right. So that is glowing a pretty intense blue.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely illumination there, and that is...
It's still lit up.
It's still lit up.
There's a striking difference between the kitchen floor and the spot in the corner. If this discoloration in the corner of the dining room was indeed dried blood, one would assume that there would be some luminescence. But there isn't. And the blue star doesn't glow any more on the tile than it does in the bottle. This is why a basic luminol test is always followed by a laboratory test in forensic medicine, because luminol itself is prone to false positives from anything concentrated with iron. Even after a second test with the blue star, the spot in the corner did not glow in a way that you would expect a decomposition spot to glow.
Okay, ready?
Yes. Not the same.
In our opinion, this is not blood in the corner of the room, and what we discover tomorrow afternoon only strengthens our opinion.
So the thing about with the blue star as compared to luminol is if you spray it onto blood and it fluoresces, it will maintain its fluorescence for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
If you spray it on something that is not, it will quickly dissipate.
Yes.
And that dissipated within 3 to 5 seconds.
Let's go back to the other mark just to do a test.
It's still glowing over
yeah.
here. This other mark over here is still glowing. Like, I can take another photo here for you. What that says is this behind the counter here. This is very blue, still glowing. That over there glowed white, disappeared quickly. That stain over there doesn't seem to be an actual decomp spot like Nick believes.
At least, if it is, there's no longer enough there.
Right.
That is most likely is.
Which bedroom was it that Colin was spraying the wall and got the rug and it lit up?
The carpet, Junior's room.
Junior's room. And it was right in front of the door, wasn't it? Was it in front of the bathroom door?
It was right here, yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, see, those could be particles, but it's dissipating quick, isn't it? That's not blood.
No. Nope, very white, not blue, not glowing very strongly.
That's not blood.
It just shows you the fallibility of luminol.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
The good news is that Nick can rest a little bit easier that he doesn't have as much of a biohazard issue in this house as he thinks.
Right. The only thing that I will say is still something about this room is just so, I don't even know, I want to say aggressive feeling, but there's nothing or no one there. So I can't compute that.
Right. Well, let's go get some sleep. We're going to come in here during the day tomorrow. We're going to come in here tomorrow night. We're going to see if anyone wants to interact with us, talk to us. It's a very successful day. We found out a lot about the house, about the family. Let's go ahead and grab this stuff and head out.
Are we good to cut?
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah.
Just what?
I don't know. I can't explain it. I'm trying to remember the last time that I kind of felt that emotionally like attached to something was Moon River. I don't know. But and it's like, do you guys feel that? It's just like overwhelming, like oppression. That's the word. Like
re-rolling.
So oppressive.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? The house itself had a lot of anger with the Fox family and everything that happened there, and then the most recent situation with what happened with Vicky and Gary. You know, there's been a lot of anger in this house. I mean, you saw it. We saw it when we were in there earlier. You know, the holes punched in the walls.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could be that energy and that emotion trapped in here, or it could be that this place is just there's no explanation for walking into a place and suddenly feeling that anger and that frustration.
It's more of like frustration, but also hopeless and helplessness.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I wasn't trying to turn that into a whole...
No, I think it's important, but I do think it would be a good idea for you, since you're feeling so affected by it, to step outside.
Yeah.
And to not be exposed to it for just a minute, even before we pack this stuff up. And I think a good way to do that is just for 10, 15 minutes. You and Connor go outside, and I'm going to sit in Junior's bedroom for 10 minutes by myself.
Okay.
And just see what happens.
Okay.
And
I'm going to go sit in the car then.
yes. Whoa. Let me just go ahead and do that. I'm going to set that in airplane mode. That was what was making that go off, it seems, because as soon as I put it in airplane mode, it stopped. All right. Belle Plaine. Placing over here. Donnie, I just wanted to come and talk to you. And I would love it if you could talk back and give some answers. I'm sure living in this house was difficult for you. Did you know your half-brothers? Did you have any relationship with them? But it was a lot of anger in this house, wasn't there? Not just with you and your parents. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in general. What do you want to see done with this house, Donnie? Ending?
Donnie, I just wanted to come and talk to you. And I'd love it if you could talk back and give some answers. I'm sure living in this house was difficult for you.
Nothing there. All right, I have a box right here that I'm getting ready to leave for the night. For whoever's here, whether it's Donnie, if you're here, or anyone that's here, can you please come through this box? We're going to be leaving for the night, but we'll be back tomorrow. And we want to hear about you, how you're feeling, whatever it is you want to tell us. See, the thing is, we don't think your story has been told. We don't think that anyone's actually been able to tell your story the way it's supposed to be told.
Well, let me just introduce myself. My name is Ryan, and my friend's Dave, and we have Connor with us as well. He's the guy that has the camera that's been running around with us. We just heard that this house is in danger of being torn down. Can you say your name? My name is Ryan. Just very quickly, please. I'm going to have to leave here in just a second. My camera in there is about to run out of battery. Whoa. I'm gonna have to play that back because I swear I just heard a man's voice come through there and say Donald. I swear. Whoa. Whoa. I'm gonna have to play that back because I swear I just heard a man's voice come through there and say Donald. Was that you, Donald? Donald, is this your room? It's nice to meet you. We have all these lights around, and tomorrow we're going to come back and we're going to try and speak to you, try and allow you to let your voice be heard, allow you to try and tell your story and tell the world what happened in this house, if possible. Can you do that for us? Okay, we're gonna have to recharge these batteries tonight and then come back in here fresh tomorrow and try and see what we can have happen. For now, we're gonna call it a night because we got a long day and a long night tomorrow night. It's time for day 2, the Belle Plaine murder house.
All right, guys, we are outside of the house here, 605 11th Street, Belle Plaine, Iowa. And we do have the police report in this binder. We read over it last night when we were in the house. But today, while we're here, before we get started later this evening, we thought we would go through and read the police report step by step. We have some equipment and stuff set up in there just to see if maybe something will happen while we read through this.
Yeah, and if we recreate and reenact exactly what was said in there, we'll get a better idea of where each of them was.
Yes.
And that'll help us determine if we are correct in what our testing showed last night, which was that spot in the corner may not be a decomp spot.
Right.
But we want to check that
and see if the police report, does it match up with that spot being where she was found.
The first report of things is that the mailman walked the sidewalk here, like he did every day delivering the mail. I'm assuming the same mailbox there. And I believe I read at one point the windows were actually cracked, and he started to, he noticed that the mail was piling up and he smelled something. That's what I remember reading in one of the articles. So then he called the sheriff or the police and showed up, and he actually came over to this window and peered in and saw Senior in the bed there, saw an outline of somebody in the bed there, and then proceeded to come over to the door and then go inside. Okay, he says he walked into the house and was standing in the living room looking south. I could see a fan running and blowing west into the bedroom. The same bedroom that I had looked in from outside the window. I then walked into the bedroom and observed a person in bed covered up to the neck. His entire face was from the blast of a I turned around and walked back into the living room and walked south into the next room. I observed a light on the east wall of the room, and also a television was on. I then saw an older lady lying on the floor, face up, with her head pointing west. She was in the center of the room. So that's where the first incongruent thing comes into play, because all of the legends and stuff claim that she was lying in this corner, and that's why there is this...
What's supposed to be a decom spot.
Yeah, a decom spot right there in the corner. But that doesn't add up with the police report saying that she was lying in the center of this room with her head facing west. So, it's not going to leak over into there and then rot through the floor, I don't think.
No, I mean, yeah, this is the center of this room right in front of you.
Yeah.
And the police report doesn't say that she was lying in the corner over here. The police report says she was lying in the center of the room, which would be right about where you're standing.
Sure. Now, there are reports of that it could be water damage, which I actually think it might be, but you might say it probably isn't because there's nothing up here. But there is a heating unit right in here, which has, plumbing and stuff to it. So is it possible that that leaked and then ran back this way, and that's where the water spot is coming from?
It could be.
It's hard to tell.
But the thing with people might ask and wonder, well, why is it that if she was laying in the center of the floor, he didn't see that as soon as he walked in the door?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's because since this house was flipped and turned into a rental property, they took out the walls, and if you see the drop ceiling up above us here, you'll notice that it's covering up the original ceiling, and if you look close enough in here, you'll see that there at one time was a wall that ran across, blocking his view from seeing into this room. The only way into the dining room, which is what this would have been a doorway in the living room.
Yeah, probably in the center of the wall here, because back in the 80s, there weren't like open concepts like we have now. Everything's open, wide open, minimal walls, very minimalistic. But back then, every room had as many walls as possible. So I would imagine that there was a door here, so that would have been a solid wall. So of course he wouldn't have been able to see into there as he's standing, maybe here observing and could see her. So
right.
After realizing that the police report says that Frances was found in the center of the room, we can piece more of the story together. But the true key to our theory came just 5 days before the release of this documentary. when the state of Iowa's Division of Criminal Investigation sent us some of their report. And with the state's more detailed report, we can start to see just how premeditated it was. Stated in the DCI report, the phone lines were cut on the east side of the house, and wire cutters were found in the kitchen. There was also some speculation and rumors in the papers in 1987 that a weapon was also found with Donald Sr., but this isn't true at all. The 3 loaded weapons were found in Donald Jr.'s room, and 5 unused shotgun shells were found in his pants pocket. So it appears that this whole tragic event was very meticulously planned, with 3 weapons in his room, and the phone lines cut. That horrific event began.
Okay, so he came back in, the smell wasn't as bad because the door was open. He again came in and checked on the man that was lying in the bed in the west bedroom. Then he turned around, made his same path that he did before, came and checked on the lady lying on the floor. So then he finally comes into the bedroom here for the first time. And they observed a man lying at the south end of the room on the floor right here. We then went back outside for fresh air. And that's the report, you know.
Yeah.
And some of it doesn't add up.
Right, compared to the places where the spots that we were testing, you know. Over here, yes, where we had tested this area here, but all of this seems to have been completely gutted, and then they put this plywood up on the walls instead of actual drywall instead, so none of that would have any issues. They did install an air conditioning unit after the foxes were gone, probably when this became a rental property, and so that wouldn't be original, you know. So there's been a lot of work done to this place since the foxes died in here.
And even in the room over here where Senior is the same exact story. Here's a good example right here. You can see that's new. Because this house was built 1900, maybe a little bit pre-1900, and that's not that era of stuff.
Right.
So,
It's drywall's completely stripped out down to the studs, and then the plywood is just put up over top of where there would be drywall. This is hollow in here.
Yeah, there's no drywall. And we were told that at one point a slumlord did take over this, and it would make sense that it is rebuilt this way. When we were shooting B-roll, it's put together so poorly that they were in here with a big can light that we have, and I could see it coming through the cracks. And that's not how they built stuff back then.
No.
So, yeah, I just believe there's a lot of misinformation going on. But I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, do you want to grab a couple pieces of equipment out here and actually start doing just a little bit, see if we can capture anything in the daytime? Because last night we didn't do too much investigating. It was mostly the spraying and the testing.
Yeah.
And there could be some stuff going on during the day that we might want to try and tap into.
Yeah, we can get some stuff set up and see what happens.
Absolutely. No, I mean, so those are the same batteries?
Oh, no. I think new ones in it.
Whoa.
Now something.
Hello? That REM pod has been set up there for how long and it hasn't made a single peep?
For being a house with no... So what? Okay, so it's weird to me that there is a reading in here, but there's no electricity in here.
Right.
I mean, it could be, like Nick said, the aquifer under this town is creating energy.
Right. That there's a slight bit of electricity being created by the running water that flows underneath of the town.
Yeah. And he told us that they actually did a scientific study on that. That's not just...
Jumping between a 0.3 and a 0.4, which isn't much.
No.
But it's still more than a flat 0 that a house should be reading from having absolutely no electricity inside of it. I would say your headache that you're having could possibly be coming from some sort of dust, maybe. If it is naturally explainable, it would probably be dust before it would be EMF. I'm going to set the spirit box down right there for a second.
All right, so I set up a circle of doom here from Amy's crypt.
Whoa. Do you think that could be the train going by? I mean, we've had there were trains going by all night last night, and not a single REM pod went off.
No, it just said no over here.
It said no on the epoch?
Just literally said no as you said that.
Donnie, are you happy we came to visit you again? If you are, Donnie, can you touch that blue light again so that we can see that you're here? That's one way for us to be able to see you. Like I told you last night, we're here to tell your story, and we're not here to judge anyone or anything that happened. We want you to tell us about your life. We're not even really concerned about what happened and what you did. Besides, maybe if you're okay, because it would take something very extreme to make someone do something like that.
What was that? Did you hear a voice?
I did. Did you hear that? That was in this house.
I heard a female voice.
I did not hear one, guys.
There's nobody out here.
There's nobody out here. Let me just get a shot down the side here to show them.
That was very clearly a voice. I don't know. I couldn't make anything out.
Okay. That was weird.
Yeah, there's nobody out there.
No.
Yes.
Francis, did we just hear your voice? Did you try and say something? If you did, can you try touching one of these, all of these antennas that we have set up around here? We know that something horrible happened in this house. And you probably didn't even know that it was going to happen. Is anybody's spirit still in this house? I'm talking to Francis, Don Jr., Vicky, or anyone else that may have passed away here.
We heard through the grapevine there also may be a little boy named Walter. Another young man that passed away in the house next door.
If any of you are here, can you let us know, please?
Let me run in. I just got to turn on the music box that I put in. That I put in Don Sr.'s room there.
Okay. I wonder if we could move this to like...
Make sure that Sadicam can see it.
Yeah, it should see that.
Yes.
Whoops. Whoa. It's not.
I just moved, fellas. Let me. Hey, let me try that again. I moved as I went off.
Okay.
Never mind.
And then let me move how I did? No. And that time a train wasn't even going by. That set off the millimeter in here before it set off this. I mean, that's... There was no giant walking through the house. That's... Do you like that blue light in the doorway, Donnie? I think that's what you like being called. One of your neighbors we talked to said that that's what you like being called.
You just let it yes, and then you puck.
Ooh. Well, Donnie, can you answer something for us? Donnie, did you go to Thomas Jefferson High School in Cedar Rapids until your sophomore or through your sophomore year? If you did, can you set off any of this stuff right here? Or make the green... Yes, it just lit up yes. Wow. Oh shoot, can you flip the EDI back up? Oh yeah, I forgot I knocked it over. There we go. We think that we may have found a picture of you in the yearbook. Would you like to see that picture again? Did you like living in Cedar Rapids more than Belle Plaine? Did the candle do something there? No? Okay. Rolling. Bedroom / living room. Belle Plaine house. How about it, Donnie? Did you like living in Cedar Rapids more than you liked living here in Belle Plaine? Yes. We're sorry to hear about what happened to you when you were at work. Taking that fall and then having that pretty bad head injury. Did you feel trapped here because of your disability from that injury? Donnie, when we were in here last night, were you still in your bedroom in there watching and listening to us, what we were doing?
if you were in your room, Donnie, or you're in your room now, you seem to have found this light. You can also touch that one over there on the other side of the room if you can see it. It's the green light with the weird orange screen on it. I'm going to go ahead and stop on this while we wait for that. Feel free to touch that in there while we're listening back to this. We're going to try and see if you put your voice on this box like I tried to get you to do last night, but...
Bedroom/living room, Belle Plaine house. How about it, Donnie? Did you like living in Cedar Rapids more than you like living here in Belle Plaine?
Nothing on EVP. I did a little bit of this last night. I walked in here and I thought someone said the name Donald. I think. Whoa. I'm going to have to play that back because I swear I just heard a man's voice come through there and say Donald. And just like last night, I'm going to roll on this and see if you can put your voice on it. Donnie? Francis, are you here? Francis, you have a beautiful home. I think that was a car door.
No, the EDI just fell over.
Oh. It's probably me walking through there.
I just caught it.
That chair's really, really touchy.
I caught it falling over.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I had a hard time getting it to stand up on that chair anyway.
Francis, what are we watching on TV tonight?
I don't know if you know how this works, whoever's here. If you get close to me, we think you can put your voice on this sound that this box is making, and if you yell loudly enough.
Just said no.
Epoch said no.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to speak? If you don't want to speak, just come through this box and say no really loudly, and I'll shut it off.
You can use it just like a microphone.
Can you come and stand next to me? Maybe you can come and stand right here in this area with me, and we can talk.
What happened right there?
Here's where I was standing last night when I thought I heard a man's voice come through.
We've also got a candle right there. Do you like candles? I thought I heard something come through there.
Does that sound like a woman? Francis, I bet you probably had a lot of candles through here. No, on the epoch.
If you don't like candles being lit in your house, you can blow that one out. You just got to get close to it.
Yeah, and it'll go out. We apologize if that's the case.
Epoch just said no.
No. What was that?
Outside noise, guys.
Was it?
Yeah.
Is there someone out that window? It sounded like it was close to the house.
I don't see anybody. Doesn't mean it wasn't.
Yeah. I tell you what, since no one's talking here, I'm going to go talk to Mr. Donald Sr. here. Sir, I heard you were in the Navy. Thank you for your service. Don't what? Sir, can you just come through so we know you're here and tell us again your name? If we hear your name, we'll know it's you. We're going to have to go here soon. We're going to be back tonight, though. We have to go meet with Nick. You know Nick? We're going to go meet with him and show him some things. We think we found a picture of your son, Donnie.
It lit up yes, and I held it down for a hot second over here.
Really? The epoch said yes?
Yes.
Is that okay if we come back and talk to you later then, sir? So that we can find out more about you?
Say no. Yeah.
What?
Something moved in the kitchen.
it loud?
It just sounded like something moving in there. Yes. Epoch lit up, yes.
So you know Nick, and you're okay with us coming back. I mean, Senior may not want us to, but Francis and Donnie, would you be comfortable talking to us? Or Vicky? Okay, I'm gonna shut this off. Thank you. We'll be back later, okay?
I think that could be me. Sorry, I was trying to move over.
Do what you did again? Yes, that was you. Okay.
Sorry. We've got 20 seconds.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and go meet up with Nick and go show him some of the information that we found out in our research about the family, the house. And we're gonna come back here later and investigate, so stay tuned for that. Thank you, everyone. We'll be back here in just a little bit. So, Nick, we found some interesting stuff in our research, a lot of it relating to just giving a bit of a better story behind the family and who they were. Because that's something that you said that you didn't really know about, was who these people really actually were because they were so reclusive.
Correct.
So, upon diving into some of the newspaper articles, we found bits and pieces and different clues about certain things. Now, the first thing that we found that we know of is Donald Fox Sr. is a veteran from the Navy. He actually served in World War II. And we actually have right here his, and this may be something that you've seen, but it's his application, State of Iowa, World War II service compensation.
No, I've never seen this before.
November 5th, 1943, November 24th, 1945. The one thing that I wanted to show you that I know you've been anticipating, because we told you about this, we found a newspaper article. We searched far and wide for any pictures that we could find of these, of any of the three of them. And I started looking at Belle Plaine's high school's yearbooks. We stumbled across this newspaper article that said, Donald Fox Jr., 34, found dead of gunshot wounds Wednesday in their Belle Plaine home, which they had lived in for 12 years. They formerly lived in Cedar Rapids. So that said to me, that's around the time he's in high school, right? We looked at each other, we said, we're looking in the wrong high schools. So that was when we started to search Cedar Rapids high schools for photographs, because you think of the times that you are photographed in your life. In high school, you always get a picture taken for the yearbook. And we just happened to stumble upon 1969 yearbook from Thomas Jefferson High School, and this is the index, right there in big bold, Fox, Donald, page 73. This was 1969, which would have been his sophomore year of high school if this is indeed him. And you can see in this class photograph, it lists everyone. Right there, Don Fox on the end of the row. And that is what we believe to be Donald Fox Jr. There on the very end of his sophomore year class's picture.
Wow.
Now, again, we weren't able to actually get confirmation from anyone that went to this high school. We put out posts on the internet. We put out posts all over trying to get someone to confirm that this was the Donald Fox that we were thinking of. It matches because his name's Donald Fox. This kid was born in 1953. Donald Fox Jr. was born in 1953. They formerly lived in Cedar Rapids. This is a high school in Cedar Rapids. So I can't imagine there would have been another Donald Fox that lived in Cedar Rapids born in 1953 that went to that high school. So what we could be looking at is the only photograph that we could find of Donald Fox Jr. who committed the crime.
Wow.
Then the mystery that we get into on this stuff.
Yeah.
Are you ready to jump into that?
Yeah. Go for it. I'll switch you there.
Trade you. This are the death certificates of all 3 of the Foxes. So there on the bottom, I believe that is Junior.
Senior.
That's Senior down here. So yeah, you have Francis, Junior, Senior. And I'm not sure if you've ever looked at these or not.
No, I haven't. This is the first time I've seen this.
There's a lot of information in these, how they died specifically, and the next of kin who identified, and
gives the next of kin.
So that was the thing. This is where the paper trail started. We noticed, because this was the first thing we pulled. If you look for informant, they said that was the next of kin who would be there to identify. We then went up to the clerk of courts and pulled up all the information on the estate of Donald C. Fox, Jr. and Sr. So we have this. This is Sr., and there's 3 names listed as beneficiaries under the estate, not in the will, but just by circumstance.
Okay, stepsons.
The house was deeded to a man named John Nelson, and so we didn't know who John Nelson was again. Another strange piece of the puzzle, until we went in and we started reading these actual estate files. Donald Sr. had no will, and thus his estate passes as prescribed by Iowa law for interstates. Under simultaneous death statute, Donald Sr.'s estate will pass as if he survived Francis. This would mean normally that his estate would pass half to John Nelson and half to Donald Jr. However, Donald Jr. cannot inherit from Donald Sr., having caused his death. The result is that all of Donald C. Fox Sr.'s estates will be passed to John Nelson.
A son.
A son named John Nelson is who got the house. And then in less than a year later, he flipped and sold the house to Sean and Brenda Williams.
That's what was being said last night. Okay.
The house was purchased in 1974, April of 1974, by a woman named Catherine L. Fox. Whoever Catherine L. Fox is, we can't find out because there's no birth record of her, there's no death record of her in the state of Iowa.
No marriage record, like a previous marriage between her and Don. There's nothing on that woman.
So that is the mystery that we have yet to figure out, is who is Catherine Fox, and how did the house go from the hands of Catherine to Donald. So the courthouse, they couldn't find anything. All the employees there that were so helpful helped us for hours. She even went back up and checked again. Couldn't find anything on how Catherine sold, deeded, gave the house to Donald. So.
And she said this was absolutely not a normal thing that ever happens in their records. And they were completely baffled about not having any information on her or how this transaction happened. They have no idea.
It really, I guess, goes to show you that the 3 of them in that house were the only ones that know exactly what happened, because nobody else talked to them. So, which is sad, but maybe we'll continue to do some more research, and if we find something in the future, we'll send it your way.
Yeah, please do.
So. That was me. Whoa. Okay. Well, if you can do that again, that just shut off. If you can make that candle go off again, that would be really cool. I just reset it. All right, so Dave and Connor had to leave for a second because they had to use the restroom. There's no plumbing here, so they went back to our accommodation for a few minutes to go use the restroom. And I volunteered once again to stay behind and be alone inside this house while they are gone. So if there's anyone here, if you can see
this string of lights right here. Can you come through here and touch any one of these purple lights? And it's pretty cool that it'll actually show us. You can go all the way down and change the colors. We know that this is your home, and I think Senior didn't want us to come back, but we figured it would be our final time to come in here and try and talk to you. I'd really just like to know if you're here, that's all. We come as friends and we just want to talk, and we want to find out if there is anyone still here, because people have had strange experiences here inside the house, and they would like to know whether or not you are here to interact with us. Can you bang on something or allow me to hear your voice? The first time Nick was in here, he heard someone go, shh. And then he saw a shadow right there in Donnie's room. Was he being too loud? If I'm too loud, you can shush me. I promise I won't be upset. Does anybody need any help in the kitchen? Francis? It's just so strange to be standing inside this house. I mean, you can almost sit here and just think back to the way things would have looked whenever the Fox family lived here. And, you know, imagining what it would have looked like when the Fox family lived here, when this house had life and had people habitating here. This now falling apart and derelict house at one time was a home. And I think that's an important distinction to make. I just saw a flash of light right here. I don't know if it was the tripwire or whether it was a vehicle going past. Hello? Donnie? But that's a very important thing to think about, because even though to us we see a creepy, haunted house where something horrific happened, this at one time were people's entire lives. The Fox family, this was their home. And we have to remember that these were people and that they deserve the respect that we would want for ourselves. And while I know that if my life was cut short in a tragic way, I would want people to try and figure out exactly what happened that led to that tragic end. But in the same sense, we can't turn them into a sideshow that completely ruins the point of their story and what we're trying to do here. we're in their house. If they're still here and they can still communicate with us, we're in their house. They had hopes and dreams and wants and needs just like any other person. So Donnie, I'm going to tell you again, just like I told you last night, again, you do not have to say anything to us if you don't want to, but really we want your story to be told the right way. We want your story to get out to people in a respectful and honest way. And I know your parents were a lot more reclusive than you. And if you guys are here listening, I apologize. It's just what we've been told, that you weren't social people. The most social of the three was you, Donnie. And if you would like to talk about how you were feeling, what you were feeling, or even just about you or your family or your hopes, we're here to listen. So please come out whenever we talk to you. We're going to be trying a method of communication that you may have seen before, where I'm going to sit with headphones and my friend Dave is going to ask you questions and you'll answer the questions through me, through the headphones. And I will tell Dave what you say. We just want for you to tell your story with your voice. And whatever led you down this path to where you felt like you had no way out, no option, whether it was your accident, whether it was being on disability, whether it was the struggle of trying to take care of your parents as they aged, I just wanted to say that you're not forgotten. And that there are people out there that would want to hear your side of what happened. What you did was awful, there's no question about it, and you know that, which is why you did what you did to yourself. But at the end of the day, you were human too. With that, I just saw Dave pull back up here. They're parking right now. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get ready to do this Estes Method Spirit Box session here at the Belle Plaine Fox House. This, hopefully, will get us some interesting results. Let's go. Okay. So we're ready for the Estes. I got this stuff set up here. I'm going to put the blindfold on. Dave, you're going to ask the questions. And
I am.
I am going to be recording the spirit box so that whatever I hear, if it is true and accurate and not just apophenia, pareidolia, if I'm not just hearing what I want to hear, it'll come through on the recorder and you all will be able to hear as well, to know that I'm not making it up. And I'm not trying to spin a narrative. I can't hear Dave, so that's the whole reason we record the Estes, is so that you yourself can actually listen and tell us what you hear. So whatever you hear, if you hear something different than what I hear, put it down in the comments below. But just know that doing this in the moment is very difficult because all the voices go by so quickly. So I'm going to try and call them out as accurately as I can.
And if they don't match up to what he says, we'll let you know that when we get back home and edit it.
That's right. If I hear something different in editing than I heard in the moment, I will put on screen what I hear in the recording.
It just said yes on the EPUB.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and...
Okay, so while Ryan is getting dialed in there, I would like to speak to any of the spirits that are here.
I'm sweeping.
Alright, so to any of the spirits who may be in this house, Don Jr., Don Sr., Francis, Vicky, if any of y'all are here, I'm going to be walking through the house asking you a series of questions. So therefore you can help us learn what happened July 11th, 1987.
Light.
I'm going to be asking you questions, and I would like for you to go over to Ryan. He's sitting in the rocking chair over here. He's wearing headphones, and you can talk to him through the radio. It's kind of like using a microphone. So, if you hear me asking questions, please answer me.
I might.
Through the radio. So I want to start back here in the kitchen.
Same man's voice. Did.
Okay. Don Jr., are you here with us? Remember to come through the radio if you can. If Don Jr. is here, can you please let us know? It feels absolutely nothing.
Wrong.
Close to like it did last night. Wrong. Okay, is Don Sr. here? Don? Either Don, can you hear me? Vicky, are you here? What happened right where I'm standing?
Hurt.
Wow. You got hurt? Just checking to make sure this is on. I'm not fiddling with anything. Did you get hurt? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, wow. I thought I just heard a man's voice very clearly come through and say evil.
We're led to believe that something happened right here in the spot that I'm looking at. Vicky, is that a result of something that happened to you? I'm going to make my way into Don Jr.'s room by going through here.
That room?
Yeah, I'm going into your room. Don Jr., can I come into your room here and talk to you? If you don't want me to come into your room here and talk to you, can you touch that blue light that's in the doorway over there? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and come in. I didn't see a sign from you about that.
Bed. Right?
Yeah, they found you in this room, right? Right about right here. Is that correct? We have a theory. If you could confirm this for me, that'd be great. We think that you started by going out the door over here, cutting the telephone line, walked back through this door here, through the bathroom, into this room, grabbed your weapon, went through this door, and had an interaction with your mom first. Is that correct?
Good.
Did you hurt your mom first? And I know your whole life wasn't just what happened right here, right at the end. That's not a representation of your life. But we're just trying to understand what did happen so people stop spreading lies. So if you could help us tell your story the way it actually happened, that would be great, but you don't have to. Did you feel like that was your last resort? Like you had no other option?
No.
Okay. Were you just completely fed up? Was there an argument?
Right beside you, or something beside you?
Are we talking about here or here? Kitchen?
Left you?
If you're in the bathroom over there, if you're watching us...
Oh. Dream. Very clear man's voice said dream.
Don Jr., we just would like to talk to you. Did you love your parents? If this isn't Don Jr. talking, please let me know by coming through the radio and telling me what your name is so I can talk to you. Was this your living room right here, Francis? Or your sitting room, your TV room? Was it right here where I'm standing?
3.
Are you upset that we're in here tonight trying to talk to you? Were you here last night, Don Jr.? Donnie?
Oh. I might have to review that to figure out exactly what it said, but I heard write something something you. Yep.
Okay. I don't know if that was you answering my question that you were here last night, but if that was you answering that, could you repeat yourself just one more time to Ryan? Was that you here last night? I felt your energy in this room. Was that you, Donnie?
Problem.
Vicky, I'd like to try and speak to you next, if you're here. We know of 4 separate deaths that happened here. So we'd like to give all 4 of you a chance to speak if you have something you need to say. So if you have something that you need to say, Vicky, can you tell Ryan or touch that red light that's right next to him?
Again, man's voice, same man's voice I keep hearing.
He's screaming so
loud. Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's me.
God.
You're screaming so loud.
You're like, in the house?
Okay, right before you tapped me, it said something else, but I'll have to review that because that was one of the clearest voices yet. Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's me.
Whew. Let me get my heart rate back down.
Sorry.
Damn. You just stepped on my foot. Did you mean to step on my foot?
I kicked your foot. Just went like that.
Okay, I'll try and talk quieter.
Talk at that level right
Okay,
there.
talk at this level. I thought that's the level I was talking at, but I guess I was screaming.
Okay, Vicky.
Ooh, it sounded like someone said labor or laborer.
Labor, okay. That could be interesting.
Construction.
Both Donnie and Don Jr. were both laborers. But Vicky, I asked a question. If you would like for me to continue to ask you questions, Vicky, can you touch that red light? Make that say yes, or talk to Ryan? Or talk to Ryan? Okay, it said no. Again, not saying that that's paranormal, not saying that's Vicky talking to us. I'm going to go into Senior's room here.
Just lit up green.
I'm going to go into Senior's room here and see if maybe I can get you to talk to me, sir, if you'd like to. You hear that music?
Ooh. Again, I'm having a hard time making that out. Thought I heard the word lying in there, but
Are you trying?
It was a full sentence.
Are you trying to say that people are lying about this house? Some of the stories are made up.
How? Something about staying long. Haven't stayed long or something like that? Sorry, I'm screaming again.
I wish I knew if someone is trying to come through and talk. I would really like it if you could come through and tell me what your name is. That way I know who to address.
It sounded like it said back of the and then go in there. Two separate voices.
I can go to the back of the house again. That's where I started.
The answer.
Okay. I'll go back to the back of the house. That is very strange because I had turned this on. Okay, the battery. The battery fell out. Alright, Senior. I'm gonna walk
Kicked out. Kicked out. It just said kicked out.
Candle's back on. Don Jr., were they trying to kick you out? Is that why you did it? Candle went out. Come through the radio, Junior, if that's you. Donnie. Were they going to kick you out of their house? I'm just speculating.
I'm something. Again, I'm going to have to review that. It's very staticky.
Senior, I left you a music box and this red thing here, look. You can use that to communicate with us. But I'm going to go back to where we started in the back of the house here. What's back here? Did it all start through this door right here? I feel like that's what happened. You went out this door, cut the phone lines, came back in, walked through here, into your room.
Come here.
I can't tell if he said come here or...
I'm here.
I'm here. Okay. Where are you?
Yeah.
I've got things all over this house you can activate. Try activating one of them to let me know.
Behind.
Are you behind my cameraman here? Can you knock on something?
Dad?
What about Dad? Do you regret what you did?
Pills?
Who said Dad? Who was that? I want to come into your room here, Donnie. That's me. I want to sit here and talk with you. I just want you to feel comfortable with me talking to you and you talking to me, okay? Will you have a conversation with me?
Dead? Question mark? It was like that upward. Dead?
To me, you're dead. You've passed away. You hurt yourself. Do you remember doing that? Guys, we've been going for about 30 minutes so far on this Estes, and so far, from what I can tell, nothing's correlating, nothing's relating back, nothing's making sense. But I'm gonna get up and go through this way and move back.
I didn't do.
Didn't. What are you talking about?
Family.
Did somebody else come in here and kill you guys? Because right now, everybody's saying
The room.
that Don Jr. did this. If that's not true, let's clear the air. Tell me who did it.
Answer.
Was that you?
No. Sorry.
Candles off. It sounded like something knocked.
What's right here? Right over here. Trying to see if there's anybody else.
Cut that light for a minute. I don't know what that was, but there was a very prominent knocking sound. Don't know if it came from within the house or outside the house. It's hard to tell because the neighbors are so close here.
He's right.
Who is that? Who's coming through? Who's talking? If someone in this house that was in this house is talking, I'd love it if you could tell me your name, please. You don't have to, but I would love that. We know bad things happened in this house. I'm going to go ahead and pull Ryan out now.
Another. Ugh.
It's been about 45 minutes.
Damn.
I believe.
All right. I definitely was able to tune in more after you scared the hell out of me.
I really and truly do hope that they're not here.
Right.
I hope that the three of them, Don Sr., Francis, I hope they're at peace doing what they wanted to do in the afterlife. And I hope Don Jr. is understanding of what he did and is sorry for it in the afterlife.
Yeah. We came here with the goal of trying to tell the story of this family, to try and tell their story in a way that hasn't yet been done. And if they wanted to come out and talk to us, they could, but I'm very happy, even in just the two days that we were here and the month of research we did beforehand.
Yeah.
I'm happy with the outcome and the things that we were able to add to the story. So
we did what we set to come out here to do.
Right.
Will my heart ever find its way back home? Will the tears that I saved for years take home? These streets that once were paved in gold are letting memories go.
There they are.
There they are.
Donald Jr., Donald Sr., and Francis.
Yeah. Well, we wanted to stop by here and see the three of you and pay our respects and let you know that we hope people remember you for your life and who you were, and not just for that horrific thing that happened at the end of your lives. And that, you know, we appreciate you allowing us to be in your house for the past 2 days, and that we hope you rest easy here. And the three people that spent the most time together in this family are right here in this cemetery together.
And then I did just want to say, your entire life doesn't revolve around what you did at the end of your life either. Nobody knows what you were going through, so rest easy, y'all.